Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who don't know me, my name is Nikki, I'm an author and editor, and I'm here on YouTube chatting about everything from writing to editing to books to fangirling, basically, about whatever takes my fancy. So, today I'm here with you though to do a tag. This is a tag that my friend Alina recently did that really appealed to me, so I thought I'd give it a shot too. It's called the Writers Are Weird tag, and I will stick in the comments all the links to Alina and to the original creator. So without any further ado, let's kick off and see what the questions are. Do you have bizarre internet searches? Absolutely. I was writing one story a little while ago in which one of my characters was trapped in a garret. It's set in Victorian times, in the 1860s, and she needed to escape. And I really wanted to have her make a bomb. So I was trying to Google all this random stuff about not only how to make a bomb, but how to make a bomb with items that would have been available and likely to have been in a garret in Victorian England. In the end, it proved too difficult. It was going to be stretching the belief a little bit that she'd be able to get all this stuff and do a MacGyver or something. So I found a different way for her to chip away at the door and get out. But yes, I do look up some very weird things, completely random and esoteric search items at times. Do you write people you know and dislike into your story as villains or dumb people to kill off? Well, I wouldn't say so much. I mean, generally, if I write someone into my story, someone I know, and use them as a basis for a character, it tends to be the protagonist or a side character. It doesn't tend to be the antagonist. I don't think there's anyone I really dislike enough that I'd make them evil or kill them off in that way. Not at the moment anyway, so don't offend me. But no, I think it's mainly the good guys, but particularly side characters. I write a lot of friends into sort of minor roles and things like that. Does personal hygiene sometimes come second to writing? No, not really. I mean, I work from home, so I'm here all the time, so I'm not kind of squeezing writing in the gap and thinking, I can shower or write. I can't do both, there's always time for both. Well, I say that mostly. Sometimes the shower might come before the writing, and then the writing doesn't get done. But no, I wouldn't say that. I definitely don't put it off for writing. If I need to shower or wash my hair or whatever, I'll do that whenever it needs to be done. Number 4, do you go on baby name websites to help you name characters? Absolutely. I've talked about this in another video actually, so I won't go into too much detail, but yes, there's 2 or 3 sites that I like to use. Naming characters is really important to me. I do like to have names that mean something, either for the character's personality or for their role in the story sometimes. What part are they going to play, particularly in more fantasy, paranormal type tales. With some contemporary, I'll just go with whatever fits, and I try not to always name my characters names beginning with J and things. I've got a little list where alphabetically I put down which ones I've used. And so if I think I need a name and I'm like, I haven't really used many beginning with N, so I might call this guy Neil. So contemporary I'm not quite so fussed, but fantasy and paranormal, absolutely. I want them to have names that have some sort of deeper meaning or purpose as part of the storytelling. And it's interesting to see whether readers will pick up on that or not. Number 5, do you have a list of actors and actresses that would play your characters if there was an adaptation? Yes, in general I do. When I did the Ragnarok Chronicles, I had a dream cast list that I put up on my blog, and even if I don't really advertise it like I did with that, whenever I'm writing a story, particularly, not so much short stories perhaps, but particularly novellas and novels, I usually do have an actor or actress in my mind, because that is almost part of my characterization, because I see how would that actor or actress play them. And I'm quite a visual person, so when I'm doing a story, I'm seeing a lot of the action in my mind. And so having an actor in mind, I'm kind of picturing, oh yes, he'd do that little smile that Tom Hiddleston does, or or he'd have the sort of posture of Benedict Cumberbatch. And so yes, definitely there's a definite influence. I'm not necessarily thinking about adaptations, it's just a tool for me to help visualize my characters, their mannerisms, how would they walk, because I imagine how it would look if that actor played them. Number 6, have you ever stared at a stranger because they look like one of your characters? No, I don't think so. So I'm not from memory and or perhaps not consciously. I can't think of any time that I've done that, except as we've already talked about with celebrities and actors who you're thinking about them playing the roles. But no, I don't think I've ever really just passed anyone in the street and considered them to be like one of my characters, unless it's someone I know who I've mentally put in that role from the beginning. Number 7, do you talk to yourself to help work through scenes? Absolutely. As I just said, I'm a very visual person, so I picture the scenes, but I will conduct dialogue sometimes with myself, as if I'm one of the characters and I'm talking to one of the other characters. I mean, bear in mind that I am at home on my own most of the time when I'm doing my writing, so there's no one around to really wonder what on earth I'm doing. It's not like I'm writing in a public place like a cafe or something, so I will sit in my sort of lounge here in my library music room or in the study where I'm typing, and yes, I will kind of talk things out with myself. And it's not necessarily just dialogue either, actually, now I think about it. I will sit there and say, well, I think this is going to happen, and I think this is going to happen, as if I'm talking to someone, like a friend, telling them about what I'm planning for the story. And you don't get any feedback, but it just helps you get the ideas clear in your head if you're describing them out loud. So, number 8. While writing, do you make the expressions your characters are making? I don't really stand in looking in a mirror when I write, but very probably, considering what I've just told you, the fact that I'm acting out in my head or verbally out loud some of the scenes, then I probably am putting faces as well. Number 9, do you ever practice answering interview questions in case you make it big? I'd say not that much. I mean, I wouldn't say never, because sometimes when I'm writing a story, I think, oh, if someone asked me, how did you come up with this idea? And sometimes this stuff ends up in blog posts and things, but I will be sort of thinking to myself, oh, this is what I'd tell someone. So I suppose in a way, but perhaps not in terms of making it big, just in terms of thinking about how I'd describe the story to someone, how I'd sell it in a blog post, things like that. And the final one, it's gone quick. Do you have a soundtrack and or playlist for your book or scenes from your book? Not especially. The Ragnarok Chronicles I did. It was a 3-book sort of epic, if you like, although they were all released in one volume. And I did have a playlist for each of those books that kind of took you through the story. I did have it up for a while. I don't think it's still on my blog now. I've never done that for anything else. I love music, I have to say. As you may know from my channel, I'm really into music. I play myself, several instruments, I sing. But when I'm writing, I like complete silence. So I don't really have music on in the background that's inspiring me as I write, because I find it too distracting. I'll start singing along or humming along. Classical maybe I can get away with, but even then I might hum along. So I tend to be music free whenever I'm writing, so I'm not consciously thinking of songs that relate to my characters. That said, sometimes after the book's written I'll hear a song and think, oh yeah, that kind of sits well with that moment or something like that, but it's not something that's part of my process, if you like. So that brings us to the end. I do have another 4 tags here, plus one more I think I saw. So I won't film any more today, but I will come back to them in the next couple of months, 2 or 3 months, and I'll get them done as well and share a few more thoughts with you. Bye for now, everyone. See you later.